Hey, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Daily Dose. Happy Wednesday. I don't know. I think it's my age. I don't know if it's my age or it's this whole coronavirus thing that's caused me to just get days mixed up. Is it Wednesday? Tuesday? It's Wednesday. Well, anyway, welcome to the Daily Dose. Happy day to you. Whatever day it is, it may even be Thursday right now. Maybe you're on the other side of the world and it may already be Thursday. But good morning to you. Welcome to episode number 59. 59? Oh my goodness. Of the Daily Dose. Today we're talking about how green is your grass? And when I just put that down, I'm thinking to myself, are people going to come on here thinking it's something about weed? Well, it's not. Again, we're not going there. But I was thinking to myself, that could be really skewed. People can get really excited. Who knows? Anyway, no, it's not. But how green is your grass? And I thought it was appropriate because today, what's up, Katie? Hey, what's up? Is because my grass in the back here is looking really, really nice. We've been getting nothing but rain. In fact, even before that, I'm usually sitting in there, but it's raining right now. So I'm not sitting there doing the Daily Dose. But this is the backyard. And it's a little fire pit in the back. We had those really cool chairs just recently made. Pretty awesome story behind that. Maybe I'll share that with you one time. But look, I'm asking you, hey, Cindy, what's going on? Hey, I'm going to say hello to you. But while we wait for a couple of people to come on, that's some green grass right there. Look, and I'll tell you what, it never looked better. Actually, it's kind of a funny story, and I'm going to share that with you. Hey, Wendy, good morning. I'm going to share that with you in just a moment about grass. In fact, I might as well share before we get into it, but the question is, how green is your grass? When we moved here, real quick, kind of have to share this. I was going to share it at the end, but I'll do a quick story of the grass. When we moved here from New York, now, first off, I hated the grass here as a Yankee moving transplant here to Florida. We had like this thin, fine grass. We never had sprinkler systems. We didn't need sprinkler systems. It just rained and it didn't get super hot and it didn't burn out the grass. And the St. Augustine grass, I remember stepping on it for the very first time. It was really uncomfortable. Like, what is this? It's like, it's like, it is a mess. So anyway, I got used to it. I like it now. And I've been here 18 years, so whatever, I got over it. But when I moved, we put in some grass. In fact, this backyard was a complete disaster. Like where these chairs are was literally it was just overgrown. So we cleared it out. And it took a lot of time, a lot of sweat equity. I don't know if you have done any sweat equity. You might have done a bunch of sweat equity on your home in the past several weeks. Good morning to you. And one of the things that we did, we put grass in. When we moved here, we had to trim the palm trees. They had those palm trees back there, literally like the palm fronds, which is that right up there. If you see it, see the palm fronds. So you guys that are not familiar, those things up, let's see, right there, palm, and then the fronds there. And when we moved in, it was like down to here, like overgrown, like this much overgrown. And you guys that do live, if you do live in Florida, you kind of got to trim them. What happens is get rats in them and nasty. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but we had to do a bunch of cleaning. We put some grass in. And of course, I didn't put a sprinkler system in because this Yankee said, nah, we don't need a sprinkler system. So anyway, and I was like, no, look, the grass looks great over there. It's probably no sprinkler system in. And I was looking at the green grass in their next door neighbors. And then, of course, the grass died. And then, it may be just the season. So I put more grass down and I was just so stubborn. And I didn't, again, put the sprinkler system in. I put some water on. I was like, it rains here in Florida. Like it's been raining. It rains. It's enough. We'll get enough rain on it. Of course, 2 times it burned up, right? Third time. And now this is like thousands of dollars. So I was like, all right, fine. We got to throw down, put a sprinkler system in. And so we have, and it's been a struggle. We have trees and so forth. But I'll never forget, that's just a side story. Just waiting for people to get on here. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Steve. Good morning to you. Appreciate you. So how green is your grass? That's the question. And, there's that funny, and now this has nothing to do with the lawn. So I'm just going to share that. I just want to share that side story. But you hear the phrase all the time, is the grass is always greener, like over there, over on the other side of the fence in your neighbor's yard. It's always greener in that direction. It's green. Like you may have grass envy, but I can tell you it was a disaster for a while. In fact, it even still just looks really green right now because because it's raining and we got a lot. But it's definitely been a struggle. So you don't know like what we've gone through, and it isn't even that great. But I would just say isn't it the truth too when it comes to just when we look at life in general, and we're always looking at, man, the grass is always greener over there. They got it made. They got things. Life is just in order, right? We get kind of caught up in that, and I think just as humans, we never tend to be satisfied with our own like situation. We're always looking to see what other people are doing. We're looking at our neighbor's grass like, oh, that's really nice. And that's not just with grass. Think about this. Think about how many times you may be saying, gosh, if I only, like it's the if you fall victim. We all, and I do too, we fall victim to this thought process is, if I could just make that certain amount of money, if I could just get that perfect job, if I could just live in that perfect neighborhood with that perfect house, if I could just land that perfect, spouse, I'm sorry, but I did. I landed the perfect spouse. She's amazing. All right, on a side note, if I could just get to that perfect weight, that number on the scale, I deal with that all the time. If I could just be there, things would just be so much better, right? Or AKA so much greener over there. And you say, they must have their life in order. They must have everything perfect. Things just might be right. Their grass is greener over there. It looks amazing. Isn't that the truth? And then what happens is our mind plays tricks. That whole greener grass and playing tricks. And, the reality is we all struggle. The reality is with the same insecurities, whether we have the green grass or we have the perfect job or we have, the things that we look at other people and say, oh gosh, if I only had that nicer car, then I'd be able to get to my grocery store faster and I'd look much better. And it would just be amazing, like all those things. But the reality is, regardless, I grew up in one of the most affluent areas in the entire world, maybe our country, at least definitely in the country. I was not one of them, but I happened to just grow up there. I didn't have a choice. My grandfather we were fairly poor compared to the climate of where we lived and the environment. But I would say is with that, it was very easy in that to look at like, oh my goodness, they have this and they have that and they drive this and they have this amount of money, and it can really, really get the best of you. And that's kind of today, how green is your grass? And the reason why I say that as that statement, because it's sometimes we're so caught up in looking at what everybody else's grass is looking like and how green everybody else's grass is, so to speak. And we're not focused on our own grass and growing. And what do they say? They say the grass is green where you water it. Right? At the end of the day, it's where you water it. Now, that's not to say that it's bad to like nice things. It's okay to like nice things. Excuse me, I just had like a water drip here. It's okay to go after it and to aspire to have a nice car and a nice home and a nice wife and a nice backyard, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you get caught up in looking at what everybody else has, the Joneses, right? Keeping up with the Joneses, you're going to realize that even if you get to that, you realize that really wasn't all that awesome. And I still have a lot of those same insecurities. I still don't feel confident about myself. And here's the thing. And actually, I wanted to share this with you today because a year ago, I was on my way out to Vancouver in a mastermind group. I had joined and hired a coach, a mentor who's been helping me in my business, and his coaches and his team have been helping me for the past 13 months now. We're going into 13 months. And when I started with him, I really felt in it. And there's a different phrase in the business world, and you may have heard of this kind of imposter syndrome, is where you just don't feel like you're good enough. You have the insecurities like, am I a fraud? Am I not good enough? Am I not worthy to be here? And I can tell it's very easy. I fell into that. I flew out to Vancouver, never been out there before. I was in front of some of the most amazing fitness entrepreneurs, business entrepreneurs in the planet, literally on the planet. And I'm not making this up. I'm surrounding myself with super smart people making what I've made my entire life in 1 month. Incredible, doing some amazing things, like seeing real change. And I sat in the room, I remember, and I felt like, should I even be here? Am I really worthy enough to be here? And then what really helped me get through not just that time, but we had 2 other masterminds. In fact, we have one that's starting tomorrow. That's a virtual one. And it's really interesting because there's a bit of me feeling like that kind of like, oh, well, if I was only at this level by now, I'd be so much better off. And here's the deal, what I'm learning. And for you, and this could be regarding your health, it could be regarding your life, it could be regarding your finance, regarding relationships, regarding that, is instead of so much looking at how much greener someone else's grass is how green is your own grass. And it's green when you water it, right? When you are able to manage and take care of what you have. And here's the one thing I want to share with you, which I think could be the best just tie into this all. For me personally, what's helped me, this has truly been the catalyst and the most important thing. And I've shared this before about my faith, is for me, and I wrote this down so I wouldn't mess it up, because I want to do justice to the one who's made this all possible and helped me understand how green my grass is where I water it. Is for me, I want to strive and rely on God for the strength to stop fixing my eyes on the greener grass and start fixing my eyes on Him. And I'll tell you what, I've seen guys come and go in the past year in the group that I'm in, and just in the business world, fitness business world, so forth, so on. I've seen people in my coaching world come in, and they're not focused on where they're at right now and watering their grass, so to speak, or doing the things they need to do right now. And it's hard. And I'll tell you what, the common denominator for me that's helped me get through this is striving and relying on God for the strength, not on my own powers. Definitely help with others, like a coach. If you struggle with your health, it's great to have a coach, a mentor to come around. You don't need 100 of them. You just really need one good one. And then you will realize that, you know what? The grass is pretty good right here where I'm watering right now. And for me, I focus and try, and I struggle, and really to try to focus on God for the strength to stop fixing my eyes on the greener grass over there and to just fix my eyes on Him. Because what has happened when I do that, when I fix my eyes on God, it kind of puts the blinders on, because when I start to focus and fix my eyes on Him, He starts to guide and direct me to the things that He wants me to do, like water my own grass. Does that make sense? So check this out. Now, I made a post earlier, and thank you. I appreciate you for watching this, Ron and Marty and Marlon. If you haven't caught the beginning of this, go back. I'm almost done here. I will save it. And this is episode 59. And if you do find value in this, all I ask is that you share it with somebody that maybe could use some encouragement about watering their own grass. Again, that can be very touchy, because I know a lot of times we get caught up in that kind of looking at other people's grass, or that kind of imposter syndrome, if you will. And I made this post earlier today, about 6 o'clock this morning. I'm not where I need to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. And that the component, the most important part of that is, but thank God. So I'm not where I need to be. I know I'm not where I need to be right now. But thank God I'm not where I used to be. See, a year ago, coming into it, I had faith. But over the course of the last year, not only did I have faith, but I started to water my grass. And I started to look like, my grass started to grow, and it started to get greener, and it started to produce fruit, if you will, or what you would think of as grass is looking beautiful, right? And things starting to move because I've been focused on that. I had a good mentor helping me with that. And I just want to encourage you is that if you're focused on all the other things and what everybody else is doing, how everybody else's lawns are looking great, but your own, today could be the day you start really focusing on, and maybe this being the encouragement you need to start focusing on how you water your own grass and how green is your grass, not worrying about what other people have. So in Philippians 2, check this out. Philippians 4, 11 to 12. We're used to hearing about Philippians 13, right? Or Philippians 4:13. Of course, everybody's heard that famous one. But I want to share with you in Philippians 4, 11 and 12, verses 11 and 12. I might throw in 13 at the end. Not that I am speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. In any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. And that just ties into me finding my strength through God rather than just, my own efforts, if you will, because I always tend to come up short of my own efforts. I don't know if you felt me on this, or feel me on this, but it's something that I tend to find that I do a lot. There's a lot of things I can do for myself, but there's a lot of things that I realize, even the things I can do, they're coming from the gift of God. The power is coming from Him. And I can just encourage you, of course, the last thing, verse 13, Philippians 4:13, you've all heard of it before, to tie in, and I can do all things through him who strengthens me. My strength and your strength. And if you have a relationship with God, and if you don't, maybe that's the strength that you're missing out of your life, is the strength to do anything you want in your life, to water your own grass, to see it grow, to see it get green in the backyard, so to speak, your own yard, not worrying about somebody else's. So my encouragement to you is today is, wherever your grass is, if it's feeling like it's burnt up, if you don't have any grass yet, you haven't maybe even planted the seeds, is to look beyond what everybody else is doing and focus on making the grass of your own green. And that's all I have for that. So listen, if you have any questions about, as far as when it comes to watering your own grass and as it relates to your health, your own personal health, you see, I'm not just doing these to kill time. This is my livelihood. Now, while I may be just an encouraging voice in your morning at 8 o'clock, I also am a coach. I'm a fitness coach. I work with specifically men and women, busy moms and dads who are over 40, and I help them not just lose weight, but learn how to keep it off. And we do it without long workouts and impossible diets. I know sometimes it's easy to go grasping and go reaching for the next thing, the next best thing, the next best thing, the next thing, the next quick fix. And sometimes you end up coming short, and you start looking, oh, well, they got success from there, or they got that. And you're so focused on that rather than looking at what you need to do to water your own grass. And I can tell you that this took time and it took effort. My grass in the back here took effort. I went through many mistakes. I failed at putting grass in. You heard the story early on. I didn't put the sprinkler in. I went through it and I made mistakes. And until I actually learned, and how did I learn how to get my grass to looking well? I learned from the people that live here, that have done it before, that have nice lawns. I've learned from those. As you may need a mentor in your life, like I do for my business in my life, has helped me in the last year to get out of this imposter syndrome and realize that the power comes from me and I can do amazing things just as you can do amazing things. Did you hear that cardinal in the back? Let's see if he's back there. It's been raining, so they've been hiding, but you see those those bird feeders back there? Yeah, that's a cardinal. I don't know if you can hear them or not, but that's what I'm going to leave you on, the cardinal's voice, telling you to look at your own grass and to water your own grass and to watch it grow and watch it become amazing. So take care and God bless. Have a great day. We'll see you.